If you can't make it to Broadway, well, we're bringing Broadway to you each and every week right here on The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and I am so glad you're with us.
It's a love song. It's a love song. It's a tale of a love from long ago. It's a sad song.
All aboard, The Underground is coming soon to a movie theater near you. It's Hadestown. The Tony-winning Broadway musical arrives on the big screen this month, and it features the principal cast members from the original Broadway run.
I think the myth is timeless, and as many times as you watch the show or the movie, you can absolutely see yourself in all of the characters, in every single part of the show. And you know, for me, I'm a sucker for love. The love story is heartbreaking and complex and a true parallel to, you know, life. And also just personally, like, if we ever have little babies one day, like, they can be like, that's mommy and daddy. You know, it's such a big part of our lives and like how we are who we are today, so it was really special to do that.
But also, in terms of accessibility, this film focuses the story in a way that I think not only is it incredible for the film, but I think will be great for Hadestown superfans and people who've never seen the show. This might be their first time seeing Hadestown, and then I think it's going to make them want to go see the show live as well.
The film will one day be called an art treasure. It is forever. It is eternal. So we can see it. Our children will see it, our grandchildren will see it, and on and on and on. So in the 22nd century, people will be talking about Hadestown.
The Whoopi Monologues is back in New York City. It's a reimagining of Whoopi Goldberg's 1984 solo show. It stars Emmy winner Kerry Washington, Tony winners Kara Young and Keisha Lewis, and more. We had a chance to catch up with the stars on the carpet.
I love Whoopi. I love this material. This show changed my life as a little girl when my parents, God bless them, let me watch it on HBO. I was in my single digits and they let me walk around the house singing about, you know, a lot of swear words and things. It really changed me. It changed my idea of what was possible with theater, the power of theater, how theater can transform people's hearts and minds. And so I've wanted to take this on for a really long time, and I wanted to do it with a community of women because nobody is Whoopi, but 5 of us can band together to try to do what she did.
You know, no matter when it was the first time you saw it, it totally like opened the gates of imagination to so many actors of color, so many women, so many Black women.
I saw the show, the original show, when I was 19 years old. I was redefined as to what I could do and what was possible for me, because she wasn't Whoopi yet. She was this lady who had written a work for herself because she wasn't working like she felt she should be. And it changed everything. And so to come full circle now, 40 plus years later, can't beat it.
I didn't want to impose what it was onto what it is. So, because I wanted to belong to them. And I said, okay, you'll do it and I'll come see it. And so they're doing it and I have come to see it. So I'm very happy.
Boy band icon Joey Fatone comes back to Broadway in the hilarious pop concert musical and Juliet. And he's actually going to be singing the songs of NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. I caught up with Joey at the Skylark. You're back on Broadway.
Yeah, excited, you know.
You keep coming back.
It's been a minute. We were, you know, thinking about how far away. I think it was 2004 was my last. So over 20 years. We're a little crazy to think about, but I'm excited. You know, it's a different thing. Usually I'm playing, you know, the younger roles. Now I'm playing the dad roles. And, I'm not mad at it.
That's a great thing to be able to do, though. I love it.
Oh, it's great. You know, and again, especially for a show like this and Juliet. I mean, come on. As far as the music, you know, it's pop music. You know, you got the Max Martin catalog. You got songs from Backstreet. You got songs from NSYNC. You got Katy Perry, Kelly Clarkson, Britney. But you know, it's just fun, and it's obviously has a story with William Shakespeare and of course Romeo and Juliet. And you know, always interesting to think that would those two merge together? You have pop and you have this, you know, does it work? And it does, and it's amazing.
I think it's great. Well, I think you have the audience instantly with a show like that. You know, you walk out there and instantly you've got the audience. They love the music. They know the music.
They sing along.
They sing along with you. What made you say yes this time? Was it the show? Was it the I got to get back there and do live?
I think a combination of everything.
Yeah.
I think really it was. I mean, I did see, I've actually, believe it or not, this obviously goes, of course, with Max Martin, you know, writing the songs and producing a lot of stuff for NSYNC. And of course, having that near and dear to my heart. And then also, you know, saw the show, heard about it, and then finally saw it. And I was like, you know what, this would be kind of fun to do.
That's awesome.
And we started really just having this conversation and tried to figure out what's the best timing, obviously, with my schedule and figuring out times. And a lot of times you do take a big chunk.
Yeah.
I've done 6 months or 3 months. And you know, it's difficult in my time right now with kids and everything else, and I want to try to spend as much time as I can with them. And it's just, you know, I want to try to get that balance. So for me to get back into theater was a lot of fun. You know, get back on Broadway, since again I haven't done it in a while. I think it just, you know, wanted to get back into it. So this is kind of the perfect way to ease into it. The part is not a huge part, thank the Lord, because I don't know if I can remember everything in that quick of a turnaround. But you know, everything has been going great now, and I'm just excited to really dig into after the first week.
Well, we know you got the singing part down. So what's the hard part?
Accent, kind of getting the lines. When I first started rehearsals, you know, and stuff like that, my brain was kind of going, okay, I need to learn these lines. But then all of a sudden, when you throw in an accent, you're changing certain vowels and certain things.
So what's your accent?
Oh, it's horrible. It's like,
should I have done the interview with that accent?
Francois, what did you come to us? Yeah, it's horrible. It is. I think as we go, by the end of my run, I'll be fine.
At the end of your run, you're going to want to be in Paris.
Exactly.
That's what you should have done. You should have insisted. You
Right?
have to go
I
in bed in Paris for a little while for some research.
But just in general, of telling a story and performing and seeing the instant reaction off of people's faces, I think that's what really is amazing to me, that I love about it. And it could be in front of 5 people, it could be in front of 50 or 60,000 people. It doesn't matter. You know, you want to just have that, them in the palm of your hand, whether it be a story that you're telling or a monologue or a soliloquy, whatever you're doing. I don't know, it's just fun to be able to be that creative or become a character and be able to do that in front of people.
A live audience is what you, literally grew up with.
Yeah, I thrive off it.
Literally grew up with.
Fun.
Well, I think it's exciting to see this come full circle with, you know, with your career and be, you know, right back here doing a live theater, which you love.
Yeah.
The songs that you're pretty familiar with. I think that's really incredible, and I have to imagine the audience goes crazy with that.
Oh yeah, oddly enough, it's always interesting when you start to see an NSYNC guy singing a Backstreet Boys song. So it's always a very odd feeling. But you know what?
How does that feel for you?
You know what? For me, it's fine, because actually I do a show with AJ. I've just wrapped it up this past New Year's, where me and him did a concert called A Legendary Night, and what we do is we sing each other's songs. And we sing, gosh, we did like 80s and 90s songs. We have like a dice that we throw out in the audience, and we have a list of just random songs. So it was just these random things. So we kind of like made this fun show where, you know, hey, we love this. We want to thank our fans for being fans.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see that it was NSYNC and Backstreet in the same theater and not killing each other, which was great. They're all happy. Usually they're always, oh, this one group is better, and the other one. It's like, hey, you can love both. It's okay.
Maybe Happy Ending is critically acclaimed, and it is totally original. It's got robots and a rom-com on a road trip. Let's go ahead and send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, Paul. How are you?
This is one of my favorite spots on Broadway and in New York City.
Mine too.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. 10 Tony nominations for this little show. You know, I actually stood in this spot the first week of September with Mr. Darren Criss, your leading man and producer. And at that point in time, it was a hard maybe. It was like, it really kind of was. It was like, what is this show? What are we doing here? How does it feel now versus then?
It's been amazing. I mean, I think we had the sort of like peril and joy of opening in the fall, and especially with the show that no one knew anything about, with a strange title and a kind of odd premise. But it's been incredible to watch audiences just become more and more enthralled with it, and to see people like our fans, and the word of mouth has been what has made this thing come alive. And so it's just the most exciting thing I've been a part of.
I said to a bunch of people before this started that, like, if this show can't work, our industry has a problem. We've got a big problem because it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm biased, but like, let's just even talk about the script and the score and the story.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's beautiful, it's original, it's smart,
It's
makes you feel
life-affirming.
things, it's life affirming. If we can't make this thing work, we've got this business is, you know.
So there is hope. There is hope.
There is hope. We found out. First of all, let's start with the Belasco. Have you ever worked in this theater before?
No, neither
it's our
of us
first
have.
time.
Yeah,
I've always dreamed of it.
I loved this, yeah. And we had a lit candle about this theater for this show for a long time.
Why is that?
David Belasco, who built this theater and used to live upstairs, was a director and a designer and
New York.
And he loved technical advancement, and he loved special effects, and he loved coup de théâtre, and so we knew that this show wanted to be that, and so it spiritually seemed like the place we wanted to be.
And also, this theater is famously haunted, which is an important thing to mention.
Mr. Belasco,
Yes,
no?
correct.
So, of course,
Yes,
you must
sir.
be enjoying the show every night.
Well,
So far
so good, but we kind of hoped that, you know, based on what we were doing and the innovations we were trying to, you know, implement, that he would be pleased with us, or at least in support.
Well, you know, theater is a cyclical and passed down tradition, and so we hope we're living and making work in the tradition of Mr. Belasco.
This is what I wanted to see.
In the Helperbot Yards.
Welcome to the Helperbot Apartments. We're on the 106th floor. See?
Oh, hi.
Wow. This is incredible.
Yeah. So
This is
Oliver's little
Oliver's
room.
apartment. It's very condensed and specific, right? There's not much space, so it's very just the things. Oliver's world is.
Yeah, as we imagine where this place would be in a scenario that feels increasingly easy to picture, where we have to reconcile with these sentient AI beings and we can't just discard them or recycle them like another kind of electronic. We thought well, clearly it's going to be in the smallest volume of space possible.
Yeah, economy, and which is something that we've talked about too, of the economy of movement of the actor and of the space and of what would give the most claustrophobic feel, to Oliver's world, and then we get to see it expand throughout the night. So starting here is a really fun thing to do.
And this is just where the design starts. It goes all kinds of places. I love it so much.
It's a journey.
And what's amazing about it is it's a tech marvel, but it is done by an incredible group of human beings.
Yeah.
It takes a true army, village, family to make this thing happen, and it's magical.
Yeah, we did build a machine to make this show possible, but the machine is equal part robot and human. That it's a really beautiful thing, and one could not exist without the other, and it's sort of beautifully fragile, actually, and we love that.
Schmigadoon is this year's Best New Musical at the 2026 Tony Awards. Here's an exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
Suddenly, I find myself forgetting all the things that bounce around my brain. Suddenly, I want to plan a wedding, although I know that's perfectly insane. There's no sense in trying to explain it. What and where and why and when and how. All I know is suddenly I love you. And suddenly that's all that matters now.
Suddenly it seems I'm not the teacher, and there's so much more for me to learn. Suddenly I want to call a preacher, and that's the sort of thought I used to spurn. There's no sense in trying to explain it. What and where and why and when and how. All I know is...
After all these years, Wicked, it's still as popular as ever, on Broadway and also on tour. And thanks to the hit films, a whole new generation's been introduced to this iconic musical. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway for us.
Here we are in the Elphaba dressing room. So let's see the costume we're all thinking about, which is Elphaba's black.
We call her the Wicked Witch at the moment that she becomes the Wicked Witch dress.
The Wicked Witch dress.
Yes.
The idea was really always having a comparison between Elphaba and Glinda. Elphaba's from the earth and Glinda's from the sky. So in every moment of their costuming as they go through being schoolgirls at uni and then traveling to their witchness, was for me always to remember to reconnect to the earth and the sky. So when I look at this, it reminds me of me looking at coal, looking at mica, looking at things that come from the earth. It was always important for me that Elphaba was firmly planted on the ground, so that even her shoes in the opening shiz are about her being sensible. She fixes her hat, she's got her glasses, she's of the earth. There's beads that have been added, all the different fabrics. It is weighty and it feels like it's from the earth. You can see how many different colors we included in the making of the skirt. But if you look inside, it's all clean so that it doesn't catch on on any shoes and catch anything. So it's really all clean on the inside.
So now we're in Glinda's dressing room, and this dress is literally off the floor. So we're thinking about something a lot lighter and airier than Elphaba.
Exactly. Well, one of the ideas for Elphaba is that she's from the earth, but when we get to Glinda, that she's from the sky, and which is why it should feel like it's light and effortless. The truth is, because it's got so many sequins on it, it's actually quite heavy. It's got something that and if you lift it up and just see how many layers there are in terms of the petticoat layers, it goes on and on. So it takes a lot of structure to make it feel like it's just got a lot of air going on inside.
It's a true illusion.
Yes.
And one of your wardrobe people said there are over 68,000 hand-sewn sequins?
Yeah. Every sequin is sewn on by hand.
It's so funny because in the show she says ball gown, and I feel like this is what we all imagine now, is this ball gown.
If you're a fashionista, you definitely see the Dior influence from the Dior dresses. So that was important for me, that everybody know that Glinda shops from the Dior of Oz. But the other thing that's so beautiful about how we make magic, when Glinda comes in the very beginning, she flies down in the bubble. But because of that, this dress is actually her safety harness. But so the inner structure, instead of being the delicate Dior corset, is actually strong enough to hold a safety harness, so she's always, always protected.
It takes a whole lot of people to keep a Broadway show running, from the stars on stage to the orchestra and all the people behind the scenes. So let's send it out to Perry Sook.
All right, we are here pre-show inside the theater of Just in Time Circle in the Square with the house management team. This is a unique space on Broadway. You know, we're underground. What is it like? You've been here for, several shows. I know Oklahoma, Romeo plus Juliet, and now here with Just in Time. What's it like shaping this space and changing it, to fit those shows in a way that only this theater can?
That, I almost feel like the show shapes the theater. No two shows are the same, no two seating configurations are the same, and each show interacts with the audience a little bit differently than the one before. For sure, I think that there's a lot more interaction in this space with the audience. You're a lot closer to the audience. You're a lot more intimate with the audience because they are right there. But how that show chooses to interact with the audience changes every single show.
What kind of challenges do come along with that? Because you're not just setting up box chairs. This is an immersive space that people are moving through that changes based on the show and changes every day.
I think it's very interesting how close the audience is to the actors. That I feel like is our biggest thing in making sure actors and audience are both safe. That is, I feel like a flight attendant sometimes, just making sure that everyone stays safe and their arms and legs are there. I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure people are safe with the audience and actor interaction.
And I do think that there's a level of, when people first come in here, if they've never been in their space, they're like, this is too close. How do you stop the audience from jumping on me? And they're like, there are rules of the theater and people in the space observe them. Even for the people who are sitting down on those seats, they're like walking through. You come like this close to them, and everybody knows what that space is and they respect it.
And that's going to do it for us, but for tickets and more exclusive content, you can head over to Broadway.com. And be sure to check out The Broadway Show Uncut wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.